always a test at the end, and you have to have 80% to pass. But it's all the stuff that we already should know. Common sense. Now, the great thing about this is the emphasis is on safe. So what is safe? Supervision, assessment, fitness and skill, and equipment environment, but the emphasis is on supervision. Now, it's very important to know this new course focuses on taking preemptive and basically being prepared. It is, it's a great class. I like it. Now, so refresher classes, 90 minutes, do we have to do that every year? No, refresher classes are going to be about 15 minutes long, but they will be rolled out sometime probably early next year. Your current YPT is good until, however, we, the queenly we, and I encourage you to take it, especially sooner than, when recharter happens. My review of it is, real quick, you'll see a lot of the same talking heads or subject matter experts that we had before. But there's some new stuff in there that's really important. Going back to school and new scouting year, it's a real good time to consider taking it. It's great that it has these 6 15-minute modules because you can step away from it because some of the stuff is pretty intense. And as a grandparent, I take a lot of this personally. I see the stuff that the kids are having to do nowadays, and I go, well, I remember when my kids were kids or when I was a kid. So, with that said, there's one other, the other thing I want to talk about is the Scouter Code of Conduct. How many of you folks know that we have a Scouter Code of Conduct? And of those that know that we have this, well, I'm here to tell you, important thing it basically sets the guidelines and the basis for what we do as scouts. It expects us to follow the scout oath. Duh! And, other laws and regulations, local, state, and federal. It's a wise idea to review it regularly because it provides a checklist of expectations, 10 items. It emphasizes the need to follow youth protection, in other words, the safeguarding youth policies. It also says that drivers will obey laws when transporting scouts. That's real important. It also sets expectations regarding Scouting America rules and regulations. It kind of focuses, of course, on Guide to Safe Scouting, SAFE, which we just talked about in the previous slide. And it also helps adults model behaviors for youth in scouting activities, because we're the people up there that are the role models for our youth. Look up to us. Appropriate persons, violation occurs. Moving right along. Announcements and a district calendar. That QR code. Go right ahead. We can always go back to it. Eagle Scout. This is kind of, we've been on for a while. Information's on the official Scout site, which is where you got all of this stuff. Emergency Service training events. We usually have first Wednesday of every month. Upcoming and resources. You can use the FEMA site to get better information on emergency services. October 7th, we're doing radio scouting. And this is important. October 11th, this is something that we help sponsor. It's being put on by a different set of folks. Please sign up. It's first day AED. Uh, it's like if you can do mornings will be first aid, afternoon CPR. If you take it's $35. If you take only one of them, it's $35. Might as well take all of it. If you are in non-compliant, if you're first aid bye-bye, it's a good time to do it. October 18th, ham radio merit badge and Jambo on the air. Of course, the 17th through the 19th is the whole Jambo on the air weekend.
Can I interject?
Yes.
We've also added on October 11th a wilderness first aid course
Oh, right.
at a different location.
Yeah.
Flyers on all of these are over on the table over there. You can get more information on them.
Excellent.
First aid courses are really good. Both
Yeah.
this one and the wilderness first aid.
And if you're going in the backcountry, some adult has to be trained in wilderness first aid. ScoutNet, we do that first and third Sunday. On Easter Sunday, the April 5th, 2026. That's a long ways away from now. But fall red carpet, Bill. This is big. We're going to have a cool. We're going to have.
I'll just hang on to it. Oops. Okay. Good evening, everyone. I'm Bill Kohler, our district commissioner. Red carpets, as I think most of you know, is an opportunity for our troops to set up displays and basically showcase scouting and showcase their own troops for the benefit of what in the past has been our rising Arrow of Light families, so that they can start identifying prospective troops that they wish to join next year. Well, we're making a few changes this year. First of all, we've got a new site. St. Francis of Assisi Catholic Church will be where our Castle Rock red carpet is located. Secondly, we've moved the date off of Roundtable. In the past years, we've substituted red carpets for our September Roundtable. We'd like to keep our Roundtable momentum going, so we're moving the red carpets back 1 week. It will be on Thursday the 18th. The next thing, and this is really important, is this is not just a troop Arrow of Light recruiting event. We are intending these events to market scouting. So we will be trying to invite all Cub Scout families, from the newest Lion and Tiger Cubs to the Weeblo ones, as well as the Arrow of Lights, to come and see what there is down the trail a little bit in Scouts BSA. So to do that, a couple things. We did send a save the date out. Hopefully all of you in Paxer Troops receive that from your unit leaders. If not, please let me know. Next week, I'll be sending more concrete details out to the PACs and the troops. For the troops, we will be asking two things. First of all, that they RSVP which location, or in some cases, locations their troop will be present at. And also, if they want to forward to us their meeting location, date, time, and any other special welcome activities they might have for Cub families. We want to compile all that so that that compilation will be available for us to give out to Cub Scout families as they arrive at our red carpets. So we'll be asking our troops to put that together for us. For the PACs, we're going to be sending this information out as deeply as we can, which will be to the Cub Masters committee chairs, and all of the currently registered den leaders should get an email from me with a request that they actively promote the events with all of their families. In addition, I've asked my unit commissioners to follow up with all the PACs to make sure that someone is doing that promotion. These events are great events, but they're only great if we have our Cub families participating en masse. So we're trying to do everything we can to get the word out and to promote this as a great night to market scouting. So with that, that's our plan for our red carpets, and stay tuned. You should be hearing more from us on that. Lastly, one thing I mentioned are unit commissioners. As a district, we are actively trying to recruit, train, and assign unit commissioners to all of our units with priority on PACs, and get our unit commissioners engaged, trying to be of assistance and build connections within units back to our district and council. So if you get a call from someone that maybe you haven't met before who says he's your unit commissioner, please welcome him, take a little bit of time to get to know him, and find out what he can do for you, either based on his or her own experience or experience that we can bring to bear in the council. They are there for your units, not the other way around. And lastly, I do have a commissioner award to give tonight. Jared Reese has completed the requirements for his commissioner arrowhead. This is the first level of commissioner award that basically says they've completed a lot of not only training but performance objectives, and it sets the stage for later awards. So Jared, with that, I will present this to you.
Thank you so much.
A unit commissioner is many things. He or her or she is a scouter, typically of significant experience and tenure, but that's not the overriding characteristic. The real characteristic of a commissioner is that they have a willingness to serve scouting and to be a resource for their units. And as I say, that can be either bringing in knowledge, information, and assistance directly to bear based on their own experience. They can provide a listening ear. They can help you navigate challenges in recruiting adult volunteers, cooling down dissension, not that that ever happens between some of your units, keeping you better advised of district activities, and really just trying to build a stronger relationship between all of our PACs and troops and our district. Our roundtable team are commissioners, but our unit commissioners are intended to be more out in the field working directly with units. Let's be honest, COVID really challenged the in-the-field aspect of commissioner service, and it's a key priority of council and a personal priority of me to try to bring it back. So that's where we're at.
Thank you, Bill. That's pretty much what I said to our my unit the other Monday night when we had a court of honor. I just an experienced scouter who knows a little bit about scouts can help you guys out. We have Camp Ree coming up. Tim, did you want to talk briefly about it? I know we have these red hats here on the table and some flyers or something like that. What's that all about?
Centennial is driving the Camp Ree bus, and they don't have a chairman, so it's a committee, and they're a little bit behind. So what I've done is, these are the hats that we do for our staff for all of our events, and they're beanies for Clondarees. And then we're also going to have small little medallions you can stick in the hats for what you've staffed. But this is coming up. They're behind in trying to recruit. On the sheet is the link to a sign-up genius. You also have to sign up on the website. But follow, we need a ton of people. One of the issues we have is that the other camporee is going to be up at Tahosa, so they're not going to have any shooting sports. So we're expecting a lot of kids to come to this one from the northern troops simply because we have shooting sports. And we had 475 scouts and scouters last time, which was about double anything that I'd seen in recent history, 10, 12 years. So we could have well over 500, 600 if they come down. So take these, we're going to email these out to all the units along with the flyer that goes with the camporee in the next day or so. But if you can contact the adults in your units who are registered leaders, and your older scouts who don't want to go to the camporee, they get a hat, they get the medallion, and free dinner. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner Saturday, and breakfast on Friday, plus the Cracker Barrels. They don't register, the registration for staff, they pay nothing at all. So if you guys have any questions, you can see me afterwards. But make sure your units have signed up for the camporee, and make sure that you guys find somebody, because you know you're already committed, that they would like to staff, especially shooting sports. Or actually target sports. I can't say the word shoot.
Thanks, Tim. We're having a University of Scouting coming up pretty soon. This is extra classes, extra training. Please consider signing up. It's going to be down in Parker at Cimarron Middle School. More information will be coming soon. Outdoor training, we have Baloo coming up. At the end of this month, that's way up north. I'm not sure exactly where. IOLS will be September 12th and 13th. Right now, we have only about 10 or 11 registered leaders that have signed up. We could use a couple more. That's going to be at Peaceful Valley Scout Ranch. McNeil, Peaceful Valley Scout Ranch. And there's also going to be one up north as well. Registration is open. Well, we have a couple of guests here tonight. One that has been here many times, and the other I've seen only at Wood Badge breakfast. Leanne Grubb and Gene O'Neill, please come up and give us a little chat about what's coming up here in just a few weeks.
Well, thank you for that warm welcome.
Yeah, I know. Sarcasm will get you nowhere.
Where's the hook?
Yeah.
Thanks for us. Yeah, so anyway, we are starting next Friday. So we're 8 days out. We would love to save the antelope. So is this on? Can you hear me enough? Yeah, so we'd love to save the antelope. So I'm asking you guys if you could go back to your units and push, pull, and prod and see if we can kind of get over that last hump. We're super excited. The theme for my course is the world's best you. So we all want to be the world's best boss, the world's best dad, whatever that is. But really that starts with what's within us. And so we're hoping that this Wood Badge course will kind of inspire people to become the world's best them so that we can pass that along to our youth. Anything you want to say?
How many of you have not been to Wood Badge? Going in the spring.
And so is Bob.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was going to say, you don't provide childcare. Yeah, so, I mean, if I could bring my child with me, then I would be,
Mike, how do we make that happen in the future? I'm looking right at you, buddy. Is that something we can work out? All problems are solvable. Okay,
Yeah,
that would be a good one.
that's it. So we're super excited. Anything you can do to help us. And then actually kind of circling back a little bit, Tim, we were listening to you guys. We're like, what a great ticket idea. So if you have ticket ideas, if you want to reach out to us, we're more than happy to promote that with our participants to help you guys in whatever you need.
Roundtable participation would make a great ticket, I think. I really like this thing.
Absolutely. And scholarships are available for those that may have some financial hardships. So they're always available. So call. Great.
All right, fantastic.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Thanks, Leanne. Thanks, thanks, Gene. And of course, we have one. There we go. There's also one coming up in the spring. April 10th and 12th, one weekend. What's nice about this is you only have just you're not going to take a whole week off like what I had to do back in 2001. NYLT, we already have the dates for 2026. Book them now. Put them on your calendar. We're going to only have 2 weeks this year, partly because of National Jamboree. Scouts 13 years and older and first class, Venturers and Sea Scouts. There will be a link to troop each session. Order of the Arrow. Eric, is there anything that you need to embellish on, or are we good? Please attend meetings, absolutely, and pay your dues. District executives moment. Asher, do we have, I know you're busy doing recruitment. Yes. That's here. Asher is our district executive, and he's been busy recruiting, especially with Cub Scouts.
Yeah, guys, so as John said, we are busy with recruitment. We are trying to schedule meetings with every PAC and get them on our calendar for recruitment meetings. Evie and I have almost met with every PAC. If you do know a PAC that still needs to meet with us, please have them reach out, text, email, phone call, whatever works for them will work for us. Not only that, we are still trying to fundraise as well for the year. We have a district goal of $150,000, and we are currently at about $87,000. So we're hoping to, smash that goal for the end of the year. And that's it.
Sure. One of the great things that's happening with this Cub Scout membership recruitment thing is there are some excellent incentives. If you haven't seen that in the email blast, I urge you to go back and take a look at one of those attachments. They're $40 off a brand new Scout. That's something substantial. Hot topics. Whoa, this is Michael Fifehouse. Time to shine. Come on down, Mike.
I feel like there's a lot of expectation now.
Yeah.
Hey, everybody, how's it going? That's all I have for tonight, thanks. I have a lot more than that, so I'm going to share some information with you, a little bit of a state of the council update. The cool part is several of the things that I'm going to reference have already been commented on in one way or another this evening. But really what I want to share with you is some updates on our organization and our local council that all connect back to our strategic plan that we're in about year 3.5 of our 5-year plan to be renewed and extended yet this fall. We're doing a group to reorganize, revisit our strategic plan as we do every quarter, but also figure out this far into the plan, where are we at, what are we going to accomplish, and what do we need to change in our plan going forward. So one of the things I want to talk about is exactly what you just heard about. It's growing scouting, and this falls under our access and recruiting pillar. And there's two aspects of this that I'm going to dig into a little bit, but it sounds like for your Cub Scout Roundtable breakout in particular, you're going to do more information on the recruitment process. But we want more youth in our programs. We want all youth to be eligible, all eligible youth to be invited to and join our programs, whether that's through our Cub Scout packs, our scout troops, our crews, our ships. But right now is the season where we have an opportunity to invite elementary age students for likely the first time, depending upon where they're at in their school progression there. So thank you to all of the Cub Scout packs that have been working with Asher and Evie and getting those plans together and talking to your schools and trying to do anything we can to get to those students. We appreciate that. We want to keep that momentum going forward and invite as many kids as we can this fall to join. There are some messaging updates that you'll notice this year in our communications and in our flyers in particular. Part of this ongoing process was we did a research study May and June of this year. We conducted with a professional research organization some focus groups, and then we did a larger quantitative survey across the Denver metro area. And what we learned is some of the things that we're saying or not saying are, number one, not reaching the parents, or we're not telling them enough information for them to make the decision to even come to a sign-up night. Things like, what is the time commitment for scouting? And there were some big misconceptions there that it's similar to some of the sports that youth or other activities that youth are involved in, that, well, we're going to have a meeting 4 nights a week and we're going to do something every weekend. And we know at the Cub Scout level that is not the case. So we're trying to clarify some of that as far as time commitment. And then I was shocked at some of the parents' perceptions. And these are all non-Scout parents that were part of this survey. That was one of the qualifiers, that their perception of the Cub Scout program was somewhere in the range of $600 to $1,000 a year of cost per scout. Exactly. That seems shocking to me. I could see you maybe doing that if you were super involved and you want to do every activity and go to every camp. I could see you maybe reaching that level. But that is not the typical one scout, Cub Scout experience as far as cost for an entire calendar year. So we're helping communicate some of those better in our materials. So what we learned is they're not coming to the sign-up nights to find out those answers. They're just seeing that with their perception, and they're not even coming to make that commitment. So that's some of the messaging changes that we're going to make. And then John referenced the incentives, maybe a part of your breakout too, but I brought several of these sheets, and I'll add them to the stack over here of our Cub Scout recruitment incentives this fall. Number one is that $40 registration discount. One of the comments we had a couple years ago is that the registration cost, which was a little bit higher back then when we also had the new Scout join fee, was a barrier, especially if you have 2 or 3 kids and you want to join. That became a little bit of a barrier. So we want to help make that an initial barrier that goes away for those families. Number 2 is our Den Leader kits. Who's familiar with the Den Leader kits? Jared is. Thank you, Jared. So what is a Den Leader kit? It's something we started again 2 years ago, but it was a way to make it as comfortable as possible for a parent to say, I can be a new den leader. And it's a kit that gives them the first 3 meetings for their den of basically an outline to follow and all of the equipment, materials, resources that they need. So they don't have to go shopping. They don't have to do a lot of research and investigation on how to conduct a den meeting. It's almost one of those things that 10 minutes before their first den meeting, they could grab it and plan and execute, and it would go pretty well. The one change we're making this year is instead of 1 box per den level, we've coordinated to put all the dens for your entire pack in the same box. So you have 1 box with all the resources separated by the different den levels. So that way, instead of 5 of these large boxes that you're trying to figure out where you're going to keep and who's going to get them, you only have 1 box to manage all the supplies. Also a lot easier for staff and volunteers to deliver than having, they were the large, long banker's boxes, not the small ones. So if you think about 5 of those in your vehicle, trying to deliver those to more than 1 pack, it was pretty cumbersome. So those are back this year. Same thing as far as not the same meetings, and it is all correlated with the new Cub Scout program that was released last year. Something new this year, based on feedback we received, we're trying to make a lot of changes based on what we hear and what your experiences are. There was a communication to us all across the board about the difficulty in, well, I just recruited a new family, I just signed up 1 or 2 scouts, and then we've convinced them to be a volunteer, and it's like, oh yeah, by the way, we have an additional $65 for you to register as a volunteer. And some of this can be sticker shock for these families as they get involved. So this year, every Cub Scout pack in our entire council is going to get 1 free den leader that we're going to reimburse the cost of that. And in addition, for every 6 Cub Scouts that pack recruits, they'll get a 2nd, and then a 3rd, and then a 4th den leader to help encourage those parents. Again, breaking down some of the barriers that we can for them volunteering their time to be a den leader. So hopefully that removes cost. It removes the complication of trying to understand what the program is and conduct a den meeting by having the den leader kit, and they can get active and engaged with you right away. If you could hold your question, I'll kind of collect them all at the end. Thank you, because I might answer it along the way. New den leader registration, so that's explained on here, and then we are continuing the new Cub Scout kit. That's the water bottle with the Cub Scout 5.5 essentials, I'll call it, because we don't put any food in there intentionally. We give some recipes for some different trail mix to be safe for allergies that exist today mostly, or expiration of food, once it gets mailed and all that other stuff. So that's what I'm kind of saying 5.5. It is the Cub Scout 6 essentials, so they sign up. Within a couple weeks in the mail, they get that as their first gift from scouting. It comes in a cool box that says, welcome new Cub Scout, and they have something to utilize right away. We immediately got some good feedback on that the first year we released these, and people that were going to the new Cub Scout camp out weekend. Unfortunately, we're losing them there. So we were finding some of those water bottles at that camp out, but we know they were being used, which was pretty cool. So that is everything on the Cub Scout incentives for this fall. We have done some efforts to also try and support our troops as far as new scout recruitment. Hopefully you were all a part of that or aware of that in the spring with some of the discount incentives there, some of the troop open houses and other things that we're going to continue to try and support. And you already heard about the red carpet event and making sure that we can expand and grow those to help that retention of youth as they come from a pack to a troop. Volunteers, we want to make sure that we expand our volunteer base as well, and I just covered one of those with that new Den Leader incentive. There's also something we've tried to add this year to help encourage parents and volunteers to continually get more engaged. Have anybody in this room heard yet about our loyalty program? Excellent, a few of you have your hands up. No, this is brand new, not 5-star. This is our loyalty program. So same thing, I'm gonna leave some of these sheets up there that explain what it is. And the idea is that it's like many organizations have these days, it's a way to continue to motivate and incent people to come back. So this is an opportunity, there's a little punch card that goes along with it. Any event, training, ongoing education opportunity that we provide, you get a punch card. He's got one. Awesome, thank you. So anytime you go to one of these, there'll be a punch or a stamp that you can get there, and every 3 that you collect, there's a Scouting Colorado recognition item that you will be receiving as part of that. So number 1, it's trying to get any level. This could be a parent who's not yet engaged and you encourage them to go to things and they start building this up, or it's a new volunteer and you're trying to get them to attend Roundtable or come to University of Scouting or any of these things that continue to carry forward. And there's a description on here of all the options that will apply for that. It's also connecting back to our brand identity and marketing pillar in our strategic plan, because we're trying to get this Scouting Colorado name as visible as we can out there. So you'll see it on that merchandise that we're sharing. You'll see a whole bunch of new Scouting Colorado themed apparel in our Scout shop. We really want Scouting Colorado to be the visible, aware brand to our community, because something like Greater Colorado Council doesn't speak very well for who we are as an organization, but Scouting Colorado says a lot more when you're talking with people in the general public that are not aware of Scouting. So that's what I have on growing Scouting. Before I go to the next pillar, I want to see if I addressed your question, if you still have something to ask. Go for it. Absolutely, great question. Thank you for asking it. What we want this to do is be flexible for your pack situation. So if you are in an amazing situation where you've already got a den leader for every level, yes, recruit assistants, use them for that succession planning to become den leaders in the future. So absolutely. Asher, you got a thought? Great point, thank you. Yes? Oh, yes, the den leader boxes. Den leader, yeah, den leader kits, thank you. So I think, and I don't know if you guys have coordinated, Asher, amongst your district here when you're delivering or having these available, or if we need to make sure that that's coordinated and communicated yet still. Is it more the second part? Yeah. Okay. We need to coordinate on a pack-by-pack basis because I know you're spread out over quite a large area here in Douglas County, but we'll make sure that we get one either directly to you or offer you an opportunity, convenient opportunity to get it picked up. We are not going to send everyone in Douglas County to the Scout Shop in Lakewood to try and pick these up. It's just not. Yes, we will make it convenient to you, whether it's to your pack meeting, to your house, or at something like a roundtable where you can easily pick it up. All right, let's move on to program excellence. That's another one of the pillars that we have in our strategic plan. One of the things I was going to touch on was support and training for volunteers, but I think you just saw 6 or 7 slides about all of the training opportunities coming up. Most importantly, University of Scouting is coming back. Huge event that we have not had since 2019 for some obvious reasons with a little pandemic in there, but that is coming back. So we want to make sure that we're continuing to provide training, and ongoing education for all volunteers within Scouting. We also have something called Family Scouting. Is anybody aware of this concept? You've probably been to a Family Scouting event, you just don't know it's called Family Scouting. So there are two parts to Family Scouting. Number one is that we want to provide events through Scouting that you get an opportunity to register for that's somewhat unique because you're in the Scouting program. So if a family has a Cub Scout registered and nobody else is active and involved, they can still register for the event and they can attend and participate. Some of these, like we just did a Scout Day with the Rockies. Every time we coordinate one of these, our request of that organization is we want something that is a benefit to our group, right? Anybody with a group large enough can buy group tickets to a Rockies game. But for our Scouts, there was a special collection of patches that they could get. Or we do some of these where after the Nuggets basketball game, all the Scout families got to go down on the court and shoot free throws. Something that is unique because you're a part of the Scouting organization. So that's one half of Family Scouting. The other half is we want to be highly visible in communities or events where families are and invite them to join Scouting. And the biggest undertaking we've had recently, or I guess in this calendar year, is the stock show. We, for the second year in a row, we did all 16 days at the stock show with a booth. We're already signed up for 2026 to be there as well. I know there are some of these that our units or districts help support. I think in Littleton, they're doing Western Welcome Week again. I know there's 4 or 5 units that are highly involved in that. So we want to make sure that we are highly visible in the community, inviting families to join. And we have booth setups, we have tablecloths, we have giveaway items to really attract people to our tables that we have at these. And then at every one, our goal is to have a sign-up sheet. So if they're interested, we get a name, a phone number, and an email so that we can follow up and invite them to a Scouting program. And continuous program improvement. We just had a very successful summer season with our Scouts BSA resident camping. We had Cub Scout Adventure Camp at McNeil Scout Ranch as well. And then we had 9 weeks of programming at Colorado Adventure Point that was both a STEM camp and a technology camp. So literally thousands of kids between those 3 programs got an opportunity to experience our programs as we continue to improve those. And that is part of fulfilling our mission, is making sure that we have quality programs for our Scouts to attend. And last but not least, we have this really exciting pillar in our strategic plan called physical assets. And one of the key things under that is our property developments. So if you've been aware of anything happening at McNeil Scout Ranch, you've probably heard about 2 things for the past year. One is our new campsite development. Was anybody at McNeil this summer and saw the new campsite? Handful of you were. So the new campsite, it is an area that we've created that has two different camping areas in it. So one of them is a tent platform type campsite, and the second one is Adirondacks, which are similar to a cabin-like structure, but they're not a full enclosed cabin. They will have a sliding panel or a curtain so that they are not considered a cabin per BSA guidelines. So you'll have a tent campsite, you'll have an Adirondack campsite. Each one of those has a large pavilion that has a very weatherproof structure, not tornado-proof, but most other inclement weather it's going to be able to handle. It has a counter for preparing and cooking on. It has electrical outlets there for all of your charging that you need to accomplish. And then in between those two is a set of facilities that include individual stalls that have a bathroom, a shower, and a sink in each one. And this was designed with all of the BSA safeguarding, all of the Scouting America safeguarding standards in mind. So all of the doors on that set are individual doors that go in and lock. So whoever goes in that stall, it is their stall. So we don't have to worry about multiple facilities. And all 6 of those are facing the 2 campsites and with an eyesight, so that you as leaders can always monitor the youth going to use those and be aware of what's happening over there. The most exciting part is it was wildly popular this summer because everyone within reasonable walking distance wanted to come there and use the bathroom and shower there. The challenge is everyone within reasonable walking distance wanted to come there and use the bathroom and the showers there. So we are in plans to start development on a second campsite. So another second camping area with 2 campsites, 1 set of bathrooms. Oh, and the downtime activity right in between those 2 campsites In front of that bathroom facility is a basketball court. So when the scouts have some downtime, they have an active activity to do rather than whatever else they might create on their own to do that might not be as productive as playing basketball. The second one is going to be a sand volleyball court. So something to keep them busy. So that's number one, is the campsite development. The Adirondacks will be finished this fall. There's a construction company coming in a week or two that will build the rest of the Adirondacks, and it will be operational for full season use. That bathroom facility has the radiant heat in the flooring, so it can be left on all year. We can have flowing water all year. It won't freeze. So if your troop wants to schedule a camp out and use a cabin-type structure like the Adirondacks and have a heated restroom facility, not heated like 85 degrees, but not freezing like using the latrine when it's 22 outside. That'll be available for you all season long. The zip line. Has anybody heard about a zip line before? Have you heard about it for 1, 2, or 3 years? At least 3. We'll go at least 3. I'll start there. Guess what is installed and was functional this summer? The zip line. The zip line was there. It was operational all summer. We had a really cool ribbon cutting ceremony. The 2 major funders that supported that project were there, and we sent our past council chairman down the zip line with our vice president of properties, and they both came back. So success. The zip line works. Is it perfect? No. There is a lot of fluctuation in a 2,600-foot metal cable that we are still learning on. Some of it has to do with weather as far as temperature. More of it actually has to do with wind and which direction it is blowing. If it's behind you, you're going to have a very successful ride. If you've got that wind in your face, depending upon your aerodynamics and your weight, you may not reach the platform yet. So, do we know what we're doing? Yes, we've got a plan that we're trying to figure out the art behind that, as we're being told. It's no longer science, this is art. And we're trying to determine what the best case scenario is so that everyone can reach the landing platform. But it was awesome this summer. If you weren't out there and you didn't get to see it, there's a part where you can you don't stand like directly beneath it, but you kind of stand right off to the side and you can see kids going down, and they pretty much scream the entire way, hopefully out of joy and not out of fear. The average ride time down this zip line, 1 minute, 4 seconds. It is that long of a zip line to go 2,600 feet down that valley. So if you kind of know where the pool is at, that tower is pretty much right by the pool, and you're going to go all the way across the valley and land over there. So incredible new feature. What's next we have an aerial sports committee that is going to be taking over for understanding and training on the zip line, being able to operate it and have it functional. We're going to be providing an opportunity for any scout troop leader to also get trained on it. Number one, that can give you the opportunity to utilize it as a troop if you want to do a troop camp out there. Number two, we are looking to implement like adventure weekends, I'll call them. That's not an official title yet, but something where it will be open on weekends for segments where anybody can go out there and have an opportunity to utilize the zip line. And hopefully, the next part I'm going to mention is our range activities. Our group that is really responsible for developing our range activities has made incredible improvements to that facility over the past 5 years. So if you're not aware, at our series of ranges, we have a trap range, we have a skeet range, we have a 5-stand, we have the rifle range, we have an archery range, we have a sporting arrows range. Anybody familiar with sporting arrows? A few of you are. Are you familiar with shooting clay pigeons? Imagine that, but in about a 18-inch wide disc, and you're trying to hit it with a bow and arrow instead of a shotgun. Yes, so we have sporting arrows, and we have a tomahawk range. So our range activities have significantly expanded, but also the facilities that go along with them. So our hope there is that we do a huge event once in the spring called Shoots and Fest. I'm guessing some of you have been to that as well. But we also want to see if we can expand the opportunities for scouts to participate in those range activities, because we know it's also one of those things that is pretty limited to have access to outside of scout camp or a professional facility. So I'm going to close my comments there. Hopefully I've not gone over my 10 minutes. I'll let you tell me later if I have. What I want to offer is if there's any council level group questions that you'd like to ask, I'd be happy to address them. If you've got something more individual that you want to catch me on, please do so as we transition to the breakouts. Greg. Oh, our new scout executive, to be determined. Interview process still going on. So no, I did not mention who the new person is because it's not selected yet. Great. Oh, yes, please. Yeah. Ooh, that is a great question. I think, and somebody else can probably help me answer this better, but it is an opportunity for any leader, any volunteer, any parent for that matter, to come and get what I would call supplemental training in a wide variety of areas. I think if I understand correctly, and somebody help me out with this, we don't have a full listing of all the classes being offered yet. I'm seeing a lot of heads shake no, so we don't have a listing of classes to be able to tell you exactly what it is yet. Just during the day on a Saturday. That's correct. Stay tuned for more. All right, I'm going to close out my comments. I'm going to let you get to your breakouts. Thank you for having me tonight. Thank you for what you do to make scouting happen. Truly appreciate all of you and the time and effort that you put in.
Thank you so much, Michael. Covered all the important stuff on. Yes. Gene? Oh. Here.
For Wood Badge, well, guess what? First, we have a new program. So if you were in the program, in the 6-day program, you can come at the 5-day program and be a participant all over again. Joke. We are going from Cub Scouts into Scouts BSA Troop. If you want to do it again, come on down. Sign up. We're still open. We'll be open until the 21st.
Thanks, Gene. Next, September 11th, a date that will live in infamy. Topics will be scouting food. Someone for them to look up. Again, recruiting leaders, because we always need leaders. Planning, because move on to other things in life. I think we're ready for Cub Scouts will be over there, I think, and Scouts BSA will be in here. I want to thank our guests, Michael Pfeifhaus, Cub and Gene O'Neill for being here tonight. And one table. If your name's not on there, please fill it in. If there's somebody's name with your is no longer with them, if you don't mark your name down, you were not here, because I will be recording stuff and we keep it for records. There's also going to be plenty of great handouts and other opportunities for especially ESC stuff over there. Please take a look at it. And I think with that, I'm pretty much done here, and we'll go to breakouts. Thank you so much.